Hey everybody, what's up? Welcome back to the channel. Here to talk about some of the upcoming projects now that we are done with the retro gaming series. I can start to move on to some of the other stuff that I've been planning and working on for months now, probably about half a year, honestly, by now. So you guys, I've talked about, you guys know I've talked about the next Ecto 1 projects, and that's what we're going to talk about today. And we're going to kind of get into some of that. So I have two brand new in the box Ecto 1s ready to rock and roll. I have a bunch of parts here, and all these parts right here that are ready to go. And now I basically just need the time. So at the time that I'm filming this, it is the day before Christmas Eve. And I think I'm gonna get a few Lego sets for Christmas, at least one. So we'll see what I get for Christmas, Lego wise, and I might wind up building those sets if they're small before I start this, because it is going to be quite the task. You guys can see I do have my mock that I used for the first project, and by the same creator that I did the Ghostbusters 2 Ecto, the Ecto 1A off of. And you guys know I made a bunch of changes to both of those cars just to kind of refine a little things here and there that I wanted to fix up. So great mock. Like I would still highly recommend using this mock. There's just a few things, me personally, that I like to change, make a little bit better. And so what I'm going to talk about today is this project. It's going to be a 2-car project. We are going to do the Afterlife version, and then we're going to do the new version, which we now know is called the Frozen Empire. And for some of you Ghostbuster fans, that, you know, was it early this month when we finally got to see the preview for the movie. Super excited about that. We get a kind of a new, refreshed view of the Ecto 1, which I've had pictures of for quite a while from them filming, so I've kind of known things that I need to change from the Afterlife version to the Frozen Empire version. And so yeah, so kind of worked out some of those details quite a while back. And what I have here is just the instruction book for the Afterlife Ecto 1. And my job for both of these cars is going to be combining the mock and the instructions and trying to make those work together. And so I am going to rely heavily on the mock, but when it comes to the function and some of the look of the car, I'm going to have to work off of the instructions, because since we will be doing the Ecto 1 Afterlife version and the Frozen Empire version, I have to figure out how to work that into these builds. Because I, unlike the original 1 and 1A, you know, we didn't have the gunner door. Well, now we have the gunner door, so I have to try to plan around this and make this work while keeping my detail of the mock. And that's going to be a huge challenge, because there are some significant differences in the build from the mock to the instructions. I'll take you up to one of the cars here. So basically, switching the ladder over to the other side is going to be the easiest part. I will be losing the functionality of this door, which that's fine because we have it as a working door on both of these versions, which it was, and it's not a working door on the Afterlife version and the Frozen Empire version. So we have that already kind of planned on how I'm going to do that. It's just the actual act of, I want to keep the detail on this door. Of course, it's going to be opening as a suicide door now. And then kind of work off of the details on the inside on how I'm going to fit the chair in there, fit the mechanism for the chair, and then kind of go from there. I don't think I'm going to have the function of dropping the remote controlled ghost box or the ghost trap out of the bottom like it does in the set, just because I wind up losing some detail in some areas. I will model it in the car, but it's not going to be a functional thing, which that's fine. And then as far as the top detail goes, I'm going to detail everything exactly how it is on this version, except for the ladder. We're still going to do the better looking light bars. We're going to do the better looking details up top, some of the more refined stuff. I'm going to keep those methods. Of course, the engine bay is going to be no different. I will be keeping all of the modifications that I've done in the engine bay. What else? The functionality of the car is basically going to be the same as these, just it's not, I want the gunner door to work, but I'm not going to be able to get the RC ghost trap to work. I could probably get the RC ghost trap to work, but it's going to be, I'm already like super deep into the planning for these projects, and there's going to be some roadblocks. There's going to be a lot of roadblocks, and it's going to get kind of hard for me at times to figure some of this stuff out. But it is what it is. I mean, just like with these two mocks, I mean, I built them straight from the mock, and then I kind of had to go back and make changes either as I was building or after the fact, just to kind of refine some stuff. It's no different than any other mock. It's just there's a very key functionality of these cars as the newer versions that I'm going to have to do and deal with that gunner door, or the gunner seat and the door opening the other way. Like I said, I want to keep a lot of the interior detail. We'll scroll through here. So yeah, here's actually a really good shot. So you guys can kind of see just how, brick built everything is for the detailing. And basically I have to try to work on this platform here, but integrate this bit right here. And I'm basically gonna come down to where I'm counting studs to see how far back stuff is. My seat, the seats are done completely different in this car, and this area right here is where I'm really gonna have to figure a lot of stuff out. Because I want to keep the detail of the seats. I want to keep all this nice looking clean detail in here. I don't want it looking like this after it's done. So yeah, it's gonna be quite the task to figure this section out, how to figure out how to get all this working. I'm most likely going to have to keep the functionality of the push button design that they have on this to actuate that. And that's fine because I'm losing the functionality of that door with switching the ladder around to the other side anyway. So that's not going to be a big deal. It's just my space and where stuff is at in this mock. I'm hoping the mock stayed within somewhat of the kit restrictions, so that way I don't have to change a whole lot. But the the rear passenger, or the rear driver side passenger door is going to be a hard part, because I'm going to build the door as I would from the mock, but I am going to have to modify it. I'm basically going to have to build the door and then go back and disassemble a portion of the door and see how to recreate that function. Now that's the bad part. The good part is once I get one car done, the next one is going to be literally the exact same structurally. So I only have to figure this out one time, which is nice. I'm glad the car from Frozen Empire is literally the same car, just clean. It's a clean version. Another thing that we are going to do is they don't show it very well in the preview, because there's a lot of other stuff going on, so they don't show it well, and two, your eyes are drawn other places. But the red stripe on the new version of the car is actually carried all the way down the fender. That's easily done with these 1x6 tiles and then some tile work up in around the mirror and antennas. So I've already got those parts. I've already got all that planned. So we're going to carry that stripe all the way down to this point right here. That's going to look awesome. It's going to add a little bit of flair to the car. But yeah, guys, I've been planning this for quite a while. There's just a huge portion of this that I can't plan. I'm just going to have to build it and change it as I build it, is how it's going to go. So that's kind of what we got going on next as far as big projects. It's going to take a lot of time. Like I said, I'm going to basically build the mock until I get to like the floor plan, and then I'm going to have to come here for the floor plan and then basically kind of go from there. So it's going to be, I'm hoping it's not as hard as I'm thinking it's going to be. I'm planning on it being a fairly hard task, but hopefully everything just kind of falls in place, comes together. I know the door is going to be kind of a big deal, and it's not going to be a fun thing to fix, but I'm hoping the overall mechanism of this clears the seats and kind of the back area there. So that's kind of what I'm to on that project. So whenever Christmas is over and I see what I get for Christmas and see if I want to build that stuff, and then we're gonna jump right into this project, because I have everything ready to go. The whole time working on those retro game kits, I was ordering parts and just kind of planning some ideas out, try to plan as much as I could. So like I said, I'm going to hit roadblocks along the way, just because there's some stuff that I can't plan. I don't really have a Lego CADing system to where I can build this stuff on a computer and see exactly what I'm going to have to change. So it's all going to be live in the moment as I'm building it type changes. So it's going to be difficult. I just hope it's not too hard. Like with the Titanic, some of that stuff got pretty grueling. Some of it didn't work. I had to do a lot of changes, and that brings me to another project. So you guys kind of saw my whole mock process on making the Titanic remote controlled, and one of my fears came to light on this project. The fact that it's heavy. There's a lot of Legos in there. So it's super, super heavy, and I can't get the thing to move, because the sad part is it's only geared through one set of wheels, and that's that set of wheels right there. That's the only geared set of wheels, and so it relies on just a few gears from the motor to power those wheels and move this whole thing. Even on a perfectly flat surface, it still wants to skip the gears. So that was a horrible horribly defeating fail, because that took a lot of time to do that, and that was, you know, basically me completely rebuilding that ship. So eventually, at some point, we are going to, for the third time, build the Titanic. I think I'm going to try and take it back to how it was. Take the wheels off of it. I do apologize. I wish it would have worked so I could have showed you guys some of the functions. But with it not moving, it just kind of sucks. So, not too happy about that. And but it is what it is. It's Lego. It's meant to be taken apart. It's meant to be put back together. That's just the fact that it's that set, and it's such a huge set, and there's so many parts, is what makes it kind of a huge task. So I have a lot of work in the far future for that. So we'll get there eventually. For now, we're gonna concentrate on the Ecto-1, but I figured I'd kind of let you guys know what's coming in the future. Plus, eventually I have to get on the Back to the Future, the DeLorean projects. I only have one of those cars built, sitting right there. And I made a lot of changes to that car, which were kind of in some of my earlier videos on this channel. If you haven't checked those out, go watch them, because I made a lot of modifications to that car of my own. I didn't build from a mock. I made my own modifications. And the only trouble with that now is it's been so long, I can't remember everything that I did. So I'm going to have to kind of disassemble the one car that I have built while I'm building the other ones, so I can make all my internal changes correctly. So a lot of stuff coming up. A lot of stuff. A lot of hard projects yet to come. And this is going to be one of them. So I think one of my other ideas for the Afterlife version, and I'll grab one of the boxes here, so that way we can look at it, is trying to... I don't want to rely on these crappy stickers for making the car look aged. So basically, I'm going to, once I get all my issues figured out with the door and where stuff's going to be placed and everything, I will then go back and use a lot of these tan pieces, which I've sorted out over the past few months, and replace some of the white pieces with tan pieces, and actually have discoloration like that, and not such... I feel like it'll be easier to kind of transition that stuff through the car, rather than just have these stickers that really stand out. And I might still use the stickers just to really give it an older look, because with me doing two of these cars, and actually, essentially it's going to be three of these cars in mint condition. There's only going to be one of these, so I have a lot of these stickers that I didn't use, so I can use more of these stickers if I go that route. But I will be using discolored parts, or, you know, discolored parts, the tan parts, and try to integrate those in here and there. I'm not sure if that's going to be a feasible thing. I'm not sure how it's going to look. I'm not sure if I'm going to be happy with it. So that's just an idea that I'm going to try to implement. And if it works, awesome. If it doesn't, then we'll just use the stickers. So, but I would like to use a combination of tan and stickers to really give it a nice discolored look. I tried to look into getting basically doing the entire car in that tan color, kind of give it that sandy, dusty color that it had in the movie. But some of these parts I cannot get in those colors, and it's just extremely expensive to try to recolor an entire car. So I have some limitations that I'm working with on there that I'll try to work past and make it the best I can. So, but like I said, this top detail, we are going to stick with the mock, because I love how how all this looks on the mod compared to how it looks here. The ladder's really going to not be that hard of a part to flip-flop. It's just this door is going to be a real pain in the butt, because we have to be able to have that push button action. Or something else that I've thought about is making this door a working door and figuring out something else to actuate that spring cylinder. And I'm not too sure what I could do to change that to where I could have it actuate from this side, so when you open the door you could push something, but then I would basically have to re-engineer all this. So I'm not, like I said, it's going to be a lot of in the moment building. I have so much stuff to figure out yet, and it's just going to come as I'm building it. But that's going to be our hardest part. And like I said, I don't think I'm going to be able to have the functionality of the RC. I could, if I really, really wanted to push myself, I could make it work. But I don't know. Excuse me. Looking through the instructions here. Try to find that part. That actually might have been earlier on, honestly, because that's more finishing stuff. Try to find. So just with like some of the stuff, I'm trying to find the part where it actually has that part of the back where it slides out, and that must be earlier on in the instructions here. Try to find that. Might even be too... Well, I should have looked up this ahead of time, but... So yeah, there's some of the structure in here that I'm not really too sure about if I really want to mess with, because it is... it's going to be different from how the Mach has it. Significantly different. Basically because I think they're having that whole piece slide, if I'm not mistaken. So it's a little weird on how all that works, and I'm not too sure what to really do about that. Because I want the interior to look nice. I don't want like Technic stuff like this in there. I really don't want that type of stuff hanging out in the middle. I like, you know, my cars are stationary models basically, so I'm not worried about excuse me. Sorry about that. So I don't want like a bunch of stuff in the middle, in the way, all that Technic crap. I don't want that stuff. I want to be able to open up the car, look inside, and it looks really nice. So I will try to replicate the pit, the little area that it sits in. But outside of that, that's really all I'm going to do for that. Just because I already have so much that I have to try to figure out with the doors and gunner seats. So I've already got a lot on my table with that. That could potentially be a huge headache for me and take me quite a while to figure out. So it's basically on how much I want to push on myself, and I just don't feel like I want to try to push that on myself. So we'll see. I mean, you know, maybe while I'm in there building it might be different, but that's the plan for now, guys. So kind of a long video, but just kind of trying to keep you guys updated on what I have coming up next. It's going to be a massive amount of work, especially doing it with two cars. But like I said, once I figure it out on one car, then I'll have it figured out, and I can just copy and paste that stuff onto the next car. So, and then another thing I was trying to figure out is, do I build the Frozen Empire version first, or do I build the Afterlife version first? Because the Afterlife version is going to be the harder one. Just with time spent figuring out the coloration of the car and the weathering. So I was kind of considering doing the Frozen Empire version first, and then I wouldn't feel so rushed to do this version. But at the same time, I should really do this version since I'm kind of going in order. I did the first Ghostbusters, Ghostbusters 2, so I should do the Afterlife version next and just get it done. So that's probably what we'll end up doing anyway. So hopefully you guys are looking forward to it, especially the people that were into my last two video series on the Ecto 1 and 1A, and how cool those projects turned out. So I'm really hoping to put just as much, probably more time and effort into these and make them their own respectable models of the movies. So that's it, guys. Long video. Sorry for all the talking. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video and are excited for some of the stuff yet to come. And some of you that were into the Titanic project, like I said, I apologize that it didn't work. No one is more upset than me because I'm the one that had to tear it all apart and put it all back together, and then I'm going to have to tear it all apart again and put it all back together again. So we'll have fun doing it anyway. So that's it for this video. Hopefully you enjoyed, and until next time, take care.